I'm going to show you an example of what coin dealers call an accumulation. You can call it a collection, but the reason we would call it more of an accumulation is that it's not really collected with a lot of rhyme or reason as far as collecting dates and mints. They just bought coins that they liked. Maybe they got a good deal on it. Maybe just whatever they saw, they bought it. So there's not really a rhyme to it or a pattern to it other than that. So we call these accumulations, and this came over the counter in the coin shop. Now, the people that bought this had passed away, and the family decided they wanted to sell it, and they weren't interested in collecting, and they thought that they would just pass it on to other people who were interested in collecting coins. So first thing, let's just take a look at large date, small date, Lincoln cents. It's in a little container. Something like this is a good example to use to determine small dates and large dates. So you can see the large date on this side and small date on this side. You can see the difference. So something like that is useful. Now, a lot of people think I'll call this junk and I mishandle it, but that's not the point. It when you have coins like this, it's a big old scratch over it. Okay, that's not a mint error. It's not a canceled die. That's a damaged coin. So yes, we would call that junk. Now, if you like it and you collect it, there's nothing wrong with that. It can be a hole filler, but we still call that a junk coin. It's a scratch and dent. And it's not a reflection on your personality or anything like that. Here's a nice little 60D small date. Now, a lot of these are known for obviously large over small, which is your double die. Then you also have a lot of repunch mint marks on these. So that makes the 60s, 1960, that year, with the mint mark 60D. Whereas 1 year where your chances of finding a repunch mint mark are great. So little coins like that are in these collections. You have a Canadian dollar here. And this one looks like 1966. Can't hardly see it a whole lot because of the toning, but just something they probably liked. Maybe they went to Canada back then. There's probably stories for every one of these. I'm sure the person that owned these, that put these back, could tell you a story on every single one of these. This one here is a Mercury dime and 1962. Anyway, this is a Roosevelt dime, worth $3 or $4, maybe $5, but then the holder itself is worth as much as the dime. Those capital holders are pretty expensive. With some more dimes, 57 uncirculated, and 64. And these are all common. Typically, these would break out and put in rolls and sell as the 90% rolls. And Mercury dime, toned up Mercury dime. This one here looks like probably just not stored properly, so it toned really mottled. And it may have been in a holder and has some PVC on it or even some tape. It looks like it might have some foreign substance. That's something you can use acetone on if you desired to. It wouldn't hurt the coin. Can't hurt it any more than what it is. Here's some more. It's at a micro S. Kind of in bad shape, so it really doesn't matter if it's a micro S or not. It's just too low of a grade. That's been really beat up. This one is 1945 S. It's misprint. They're saying a misprint, but it's not. It's just damaged. And that's the problem. And people have been writing on holders for years. I remember some coins Grandpa had and they were clogged dies. I remember seeing clogged dies a lot. And there's some seeded coins. This one here is really nice. It's not a high grade, but it's been clean, but it's a seeded $50. And they didn't staple it. They stuck it in the thing there, so we'll look at it this way. Got the plastic one, the reverse. Now the reverse on these tend to be a higher grade than the obverse, or at least they appear to be, because the more details in the shield, which is a recessed area more than the obverse, so it doesn't wear. So when you see more detail like that, it gives the impression that it's at a higher grade. 6110. Reverse looks a little bit better than the obverse. Then there's the New Orleans mint mark. And there's a few more in the holders. Now these are dimes, just uncirculated. Now some of these you can probably card up and put up, and someone want to come in and get a good deal on something to fill their collection up with. Now that to me is a collection. When they do that, it's more of a collection. Now all this is collecting. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that if you just buy stuff you like, it's not collecting. You're obviously a coin collector. We just call them an accumulation. That's all. It's not like disrespecting anyone or their collection. And here's some 1922. It's a toned peace dollar. On the reverse, almost looks like it's been silvered or something's happened to the reverse on it. This one is an 1880. It's got some type of substance on it, foreign substance. See a lot of people posting that in the groups. It's an 80O. You can see the omit mark down here at the bottom. Hard to see because of the way it's toned. This is a 1903. 1903 is a little better year. It's a Philadelphia. The 30 is the New Orleans is a lot better. But in this grade, low grade, it's about the same as any other date. And we got a couple dimes. A lot of uncirculated dimes in the 50s and 60s here. Let's see. Then a whole roll of, see, looks like Morgans. There's 21. And always look for the mint mark in the back. The S and D, they're worth a little bit more if they're in the AU and up. 1880. And no CC in this, 1880O. And a 21. So 23, another piece. This is a 24. So there's just no 1886 but it's too low grade to be extra value. 90O, a 22. It's a few pieces. I know this one here's got some potential. Now this is one of them you could try the easiest on to see if it'll brighten it up and make it look nice. I know a lot of people are against that. They don't think you should, but I mean, a coin like that, I think it has enough luster under that. There's a translucency to some toning, especially whenever there's a lot of luster under it. And I think it's an AU coin, so I think it would look really nice. It would benefit from being to be restored. An 83, so toned up 21. It's an odd looking toned coin. That was in one of those paper envelopes, it looks like, where it oxidized in some different patinas. Because of the fact it's worn. See, it exposes more copper molecules. This is 26, 21, 26, and then there was a 78 here, and a 79. So these, like I said, they were stored in some type of, I don't know, paper at one time. That's a 79 with a reverse of 78. So that's a little better. So you can see what I'm talking about here. Let's take a look at that one real close. So you can see the date on it. So 1879, you can see the date. And then when you turn it over, it has that concave 78 reverse. So that makes it a little more rare. It'll be a little more valuable. And here is an actual 78, and you can compare. It's very similar. Now this is more wear on it. It's a 78S. Some Barber quarters. Common dates here, 1908D. And the mint mark on those is right here for those of you who don't know. And 12, 16D, and another peace dollar. Now, on these peace dollars, a lot of people see the 3 and they'll think it's an 8. So you have to kind of turn it sometimes when it's toned. That is definitely a 3. And this one here is an 1881S. And see, this is what I'm talking about. When I'm talking about restoring a coin, you have to restore this coin. It has tape residue all over it, and it's still a decent coin. It will look really nice once it's restored. I can see the reverse on this. This is the reverse of a coin that's going to have some decent luster once it's restored. I know a lot of people are like, how do you know that? Experience. It's just from my own experience, I know that'll look a lot better if a little easy est or something was used on it. So sometimes there's probably 3 or 4 in here that I'll do that to just to see or get the stuff off of them, the first PVC. Because sometimes this stuff you don't know. It's been pulled out of albums. You don't know if it has PVC or not. Sometimes it's not the green sticky stuff every time. So there's the Barber quarters. Sometimes it's just a real slight film or a filling, like a, I don't know, kind of feels, I don't know, sticky or smooth, like soap. That sounds kind of crazy, but that's the way it feels to me anyway. So here's a quarter from 49, Canadian. See what it does when it's in the envelope there. And nothing's in that one, envelope there. Here's a stack of interesting coins. It's a proof nickel. It's not ugly. It's just pulled out of a set. And here is I'm going to try to see if I can. $18.65. It's a 2-cent shield, but it's been cleaned. This is what a cleaned copper coin looks like. They look orange, pink. I mean, you can see the way it looks. Definitely a clean. They should look brown, dark brown when they're in this grade. But it's a hole filler. Nothing wrong with it. It's just low grade. You have to pay, and you have to pay like it is. This one here, someone badly damaged, and they counter stamp 3s all over it. I'm not really sure why they did that. Maybe just testing their counter punch. I don't know. It's an 1818. It's unfortunate. As you can see on the reverse, definitely wasn't done at the mint. And this one here is an 1816. A little better condition, but it's been cleaned as well. That's what you run into with a lot of these accumulations. And we'll take a look at this one a little bit closer. You run into a lot of damaged and clean coins. It's an 1819. And it's putting them in dent lots, discounting them, maybe giving them away to kids when they come in. This is cool. This is 1819. That's really cool. When the coins like that come in, it's 2 real, Mexico, M. I like that. I haven't seen, you don't buy these very often. The larger denominations, 8 reals, you see a little more, it seems like. They circulated in America until we have our own coinage. 1869, 3-cent nickel. It's got a little environmental damage on it. And a couple worn Flying Eagles. Barely make out the date on these. Let me see. Yeah. Can't really make out the date. Look like 1858 on one of them. The other one, it's hard to tell. So that's just something that, someone who's never had a Flying Eagle before, they can acquire one doing this. Looks like someone might have put a little something on that one. Maybe a little acid. I don't know why, but it's not where the date area is. Then we have some rounds. These here are the American Prospectors. They're pretty popular rounds. Engleharts. And looks like we've got, I don't know, 5 or 6 of those, or 5 of those. I know some people collect Engleharts exclusively. The Dawn of a New Millennium. Rounds, 2000. So I decided to put a little bit of silver in their collection here. And this has more silver dollars in it. It's a silver dollar holder. And a lot of these were AU. It's a 89. The 89.0 would have been really nice in this condition. Although I think that it's still been cleaned. And it's hard to get them out of here. This is a 19040. It's not a bad looking coin. And a 21D. An AU. That's very desirable with the D. DNS mint marks in this grade, this condition right here, are desirable. They'll sell for in the $50 range, sometimes even more. Here's a 96. A little oxidation on it. It's not as nice as the 040 or the other one. And 96 been a little clean, AU-ish. And here's a nice one. It's got a little bit of a 1882, has a little reflectivity to it, but still been cleaned. It's, you can tell, 1882 O, and a cleaned 83 O, and another clean 85 O. Starting to retone a little bit from where it was over dipped. And a 1921, and this one here is just a Philadelphia, so it doesn't have a mint mark on it. Not supposed to. Another 21. Not really anything special there, just your normal dates, common dates for the 21. But people like to collect them. You put back a little bit of silver. That's nothing wrong with that. 1967, 40% Kennedy half dollar. And a lot of, this is your PVC residue you don't want to see. You definitely have to remove that. 1908, but it does have some of the Liberty. So probably after you remove it, it might be worthy of putting in a dent lot or maybe even carding up. Here's the 1888. And it's 88O. Low grade. Franklin half. Walking Liberty, 43, common date. So your stuff we put in rolls there. Really nice 64. Something's in that holder. And these are older holders. It says here, first year of issue. I kind of like those holders. They're older. They were issued on time with John F. Kennedy, first year of issues, another 64. So they got 3 of those on here. And let me see what else. We got, oh, we got a bunch of those. So it's interested in Kennedy and the Kennedy half dollar. There's a 67, a 66, 60, Barber half dollar, 1907, D, see the D mint mark, and a 1887, and $18 for that? 1887. It's not much. I don't know why they would charge that much for it. It's sealed too. Well, it's got the tape over it. I'm going to open it up here. Franklin half. And a couple silver certificates and a $2. Well, one silver certificate and $2. So a silver certificate like this, I don't know who would charge somebody $22 for it. That is highway robbery. It's a 57. They made millions of them. We sell them all day long for $2 and $3 in this condition. I mean, that's robbery. Here's a 53, $2. It's a little better condition. I mean, you're talking about something that could go for $8, maybe up to 12 for if it's right bids. Most of these are low grade, as you can see. A lot of them will go to Dad to put in dent lots, and there'll be a couple of them we'll probably card up and put up front. I'll restore a handful of them, get some of the stuff off of them, and then some of them maybe go up at auction. We'll put them up at our auction on our site. So thanks for watching my latest video. Please like, share, and comment, and have a great day.